Hey everybody. I just wanted to say a quick thank you guys for watching. I just want to give a quick thanks for that. And y'all be excited. This is the final episode of season one. And I hope you guys enjoy this one. I am so happy and so proud of this podcast and how far it has gone. And I'm so happy and so excited for you guys to hear this. Hear this. I'm so excited for you guys to experience and get to learn a lot from this episode. I'm so excited. So, y'all buckle up, get some popcorn, get some friends. Y'all enjoy this. And yeah, I hope you guys love this. And thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching our podcast. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Ecstasy, for being an amazing friend. Thank you. And I hope you guys enjoy the show. And yeah, have fun, y'all. And hope you guys love it, because I do, and I hope y'all too. Y'all enjoy it too.
Hey, yo, we're back with another episode of Wrap It Out. This time we have DC Land. This is gonna be a fucking crazy episode. And without further ado, let's get into the questions. So basically, my first question for you on this interview would probably be how the tag team was founded, since it's like so fucking dope. It's a legend shit.
I met Steve and Howard. They had a band, right? And I wanted to be in their band. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do, but when I heard their band play for the first time, I was like, I've got to be in that band. And how the fuck am I? I'm old as shit, singing in the choir, and I just started getting musically inclined. And got out of high school. I saw them DJing. I wanted to start DJing, so I became a DJ when I was about 16. And went to college in California, Sac State University. And my first party I DJ'd, I thought I was just the bomb DJ. It was just horrific. Turntables were messed up, picking them up off the wrong turntable. The speakers blew. And it was a fraternity party, man. It was the worst party that I've ever done. And most people would have gave up, but I didn't. And I just clawed my way back and got better at it and ended up being a real good DJ in the community and doing all the parties, doing all the frat parties, doing my own parties. And I met a dude named Johnny Z. If anybody knows who Johnny Z is, he is from Vallejo, California, and he is the producer of In Too Deep, Back to the Hotel. And we met in college we were freshmen, and we stayed down the hall from each other. So I taught him about DJing and hip hop and the whole nine, and he taught me about heavy metal music. So we were just musically inclined, but on different sides of the world. And I'll never forget, he got a 4-track Tascam 4-track recorder. He was like, "My parents got me this, man. I don't know what to do with it." I was like, "Here, give it here. Let me see what I can do with it." And my boy had an 808, right? TR 808. And I was like, "Let me use your 808 so I can make some beats." And he was like, "Hell no. Nah. But you can come to the house and make some beats." So went to his crib, made some beats, made about 10 beats. And then I just took those beats and just created songs over them. When I would go to class, I wasn't in class to learn. I was in class to write lyrics because it was just a good place for me to write lyrics. So I wrote lyrics in class, and then whatever sounds that I could find, I just scratched and beat on pots and pans, tried to make music and made songs. Ended up making about 10 songs. And I sent them to Steve because he was still in Denver. And Steve thought I was in the devil worship because the songs were just so crazy, right? And it was, I used anything and everything, but the ability to make a song on your own. We used to have to go to the studio, right? $20 an hour. And, whenever I go home for college, we'd be in the studio. And there's a way we can make our own music with a 4-track tape, right? So he went and bought a 4-track tape. Then we all started making songs and throwing them back and forth to each other. And then that evolved into just making music and, DJing and just really being immersed into tag team and me being the DJ, because I was DJing the clubs, DJing parties all up and down California. I would go get my records from, San Francisco. I would get them from Washington, D.C., get them from New York. So I knew all the music genres all over the country, right? So I was getting, you know, all the Boogie Down stuff and Planet Rock and all that good stuff in the beginning. And I was playing it in California, but then I was getting it from LA, where I was getting Egyptian Lover and Dr. Dre and all them when it was up tempo. And it all was up tempo. But you know, Steve came out and visited me my senior year, and he had moved down to Atlanta to go to the Art Institute. And, you know, he's like, come down and just visit, man. So I went down Christmas break. And as soon as I got off the plane, they took me to a club called Magic City. For those who don't know, Magic City is probably one of the premier strip clubs in the world. And I went in there with $500. And that was supposed to last me the whole little 2 weeks I was supposed to be there. And that money was gone in a half hour. And I was just like, we had so much fun those 2 weeks. I mean, we was at guy concerts, going to the clubs. And I went back to Cali, and I knew that I was moving to Atlanta. And when I finished up, Steve flew out, loaded up the U-Haul, drove cross country, and I've been in Atlanta ever since. And when I got to Atlanta, you know, we were always making music, but I had a job at CNN. I was supposed to go to CNN, right, and get a job, and because that was my major communications. But I went to Magic City, and that night the DJ really sucked, and I was like, man, I could DJ here. And it was just a trip because I thought all the DJs down south would just be dope, right? And you know, there were some good ones, but I guess because of who I was with in California and trying to compete with the DJs in California, I thought it would be that way in Atlanta, and it wasn't. So I was like, I could work here. And the security dude was like, they're going to Magic right there. And I was like, Mad, you need a DJ? His name was Magic, Michael Barney. And I was like, he was like, no, I don't need no DJ, but come on down and see me. I could use a cook. So I went down and seen him. He was like, you can cook, right? I was like, yeah. So I was the cook. He said, you be the backup DJ too. I was like, cool. So I was the cook and the backup DJ. I went upstairs, maybe cooked 2 orders of chicken wings and a salad. And DJ Andre came and was like, hey, man, I got to go run some errands. You know, go on DJ for me. You know, and back in the day, you never let another DJ get on your ones and twos because he will take your shit, right? And as soon as I got on the ones and twos, being from California, you know, not talking like they talk down there, I showed those girls how to make money. It's like all the hits turned immediately. And we rocked the whole day. This is like 1 o'clock in the daytime. It's day shift. Like 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock that night. Just showed them how to make we made so much money in that first day. Like the first day I made $300 something. And I was like, shit, fuck CNN. I could do this for the summer. Right. And that's how it started. And usually the first month, I fell in there the first Sunday of the month. And they have a meeting where they hash out all their differences, and, you know, management tells them what to do and everything. So it's all the girls. So it's like 100 girls and certain staff. And girls got up and was like, we want him. And I was the head DJ at Magic City till I left. And that started a lot, because I you know, it's hard to get in a club and then hold it down, right? But I was in Magic City. I was in the owner. He did one of the first black club, you know, first clubs on this certain area of town. I DJ'd that. So I got the strip clubs. I got the hottest regular clubs. Because the hottest regular clubs in Atlanta at that time were Dion's Club 21, which is Deion Sanders, Primetime, and then Dominique Williams Club, which was called Dominique's. And they had veteran DJs, right? So I just had to, you know, I just roll with Madge, and everybody would come to our clubs, and we'd be packed. And I used to, everybody asked me about breaking records, right? You know, you hear a lot of DJs talk about breaking records. And back then, there really was no breaking records because, first of all, we didn't have no damn cell phones, couldn't get music off the internet. Everything was vinyl, right? And every record company had reps. This is like 89 to 90, 92, 93. Because I left Cali in 89 and got here in 89. because one of the first things I did, I went to see Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing that summer, right? And just started working and got to know all the record reps. And they would bring me vinyl because that was their job, to make sure the DJs had vinyl, make sure, you know, the record pools had vinyl in whatever region they were working in. And they used to bring me records. And one guy named Doug Craig, he worked for Epic. He was like, hey, DC, I got this record. They don't believe in it, but I believe in it. Just tell me what you think, man. And I'll come back and holler at you next week. So I put it on, and like instantly, a couple of girls start liking the record. And in a strip club, when a girl likes your record, right, they end up dancing to it. They might go on stage 2-3 times a night. So if your club is a radio station, you're in rotation now. And if you got 2 girls that like it, that's 6 times a night. And gentlemen that are looking at a girl shake their ass to a song that's being played 6 times a night, people end up liking that song. And so Doug Craig came back about a week later, and he was like, so what you think of that record? And I was like, hey, part of one of the girls, come here. What you think about that Candyman record? It was Candyman, right? And she was like, man, I love that shit. She about to go on stage. She'll show you. She got on stage, and he just saw how the crowd reacted to that record. And he went back and made a report to Epic Records, and they didn't believe him. But that's how it eventually got started. That records would get broken because the reps were innovative and saying, hey, let me talk to the DJs about what this record can do and what this record can't do. You know, in the clubs, the DJs pretty much played what was played on the radio, and they played, you know, certain stuff that, you know, I guess they had like a format that they played with, but strip clubs, we were wide open. We played anything and everything, right? And that just kind of formed my musical base, right? And I mean, we were still going to the studio, still making records, still making songs. And, you know, this popular saying started popping up where the girls were singing it in the club, right? And I was like, we kind of cranked tonight. You know, it was just a real party going on in the club. And, you know, I went to Steve and I was like, because we were hip hop, man. And I went to Steve and I was like, yo, dude, we got to do up-tempo stuff. Because if you're in the land of bass, you got to make bass. And we're in the Southeast. So we're down here with Luke, Shidey, you know, all the cats that make bass. And we're not going to be able to make hip hop and be taken seriously down here. So, you know, Steve was like, I don't even know how to make that stuff. I was like, just think Planet Rock, Egyptian Lover, right? And he put a beat together, and I had like rhyme books full of songs. But I had been working on this song called Whoop There It Is. And we put it with that beat, and we used the Kano sample and took it to the studio just like any other record, like 92, summer of 92, and August, actually. And I was in the studio all day and had to go to work that night. Then went to the club, had a cassette tape, popped that cassette tape in, and to this day, that's the biggest response on any record that I've ever had. And I kind of knew I had something right there. And, you know, but I sat on it because we make records all the time. So you see it's popping, but you don't really understand, you know, what it really, really is. So at that point, we just really tried to, you know, I kind of shelved it. And then one of the girls was like, how come you don't play that record no more? I was like, well, I can play it for you. Play it again. And then another record company rep was like, what is that? And I was like, it's my new record, man. He was like, give me that damn record. I'm taking it to Columbia, right? So he took it to Columbia, sent it to Columbia Records in New York, and started negotiation with Columbia Record to get a deal. You know, I'm excited. It's like January. We kind of remixed the record, made it cleaner because it was like Magic City version. And then we just made it a clean, regular version. And then I was talking to all the other record company reps. So I was talking to Columbia, Warner Brothers, A&M, just everybody. And everybody was bullshit. So, you know, I almost gave up. And that's the truth. I almost gave up because everybody was just being fake. And one of my reps, Her name was Lisa McCall. She worked at Mercury. She was like, need to talk to Al Bell. Al Bell used to own Stax Records, and he put Deuce out. Look at them girls with them Daisy Dukes on, right? And that was the hot bass record the year before. So he halfway knew how to work a record. And so I was like, all right, give it one last chance. Called Al Bell. Took him about a week to call me back. And I was like, look, man, I'm a DJ in the hottest club in the city. I got a record. It's a hit record. And it's been tested. You need this record. You need to put this record out. And he was like, okay. I was like, damn, you haven't even heard the record. He was like, I don't have to hear the record. I hear it in your spirit. And I was like, whoa. Right. And then, you know, so we negotiated and then we signed a fucked up record contract. And then I gave my 2 weeks at Magic City. And it was Freaknik 93. And a month and a half later, we were platinum. The rest is kind of history.
Yeah. So
does that answer your question?
It does. It actually answers the question that I wanted to ask afterwards. Afterwards, I wanted to ask about Whom There It Is and the process of creating it, but you actually answered that with that answer. That's an insane story. Like, that's the type of detail that you get straight from the source, and this is why it's really cool just not to look up someone on Wikipedia and actually have a human conversation with them, because you can hear like stuff like these. Like, this was an incredible story, and this was very good at life advice. Like the shit at the end where you almost gave up on it. Like,
man,
that's a life story. Don't give up on shit.
Yeah, you can't. And I wasn't going to give up, but I was just so upset that people just, I had exhausted every avenue that I could in the Southeast. Because you got to remember, this is back in 93. This is when New York wasn't taking anybody else seriously in hip hop if you didn't come from New York. LA was gaining traction, right? So New York was pissed off at LA because they're gaining traction. And then Luke and them is gaining traction because they're from the Southeast. But that's Florida. Florida and Georgia, like every state in the South, it's kind of like it's on its own island when it comes to music, right? But then when we dropped our record, because I actually put out 500 cassettes in the blizzard of 93, like maybe, like I think it was like in early March, right? Early March, and it snowed like a foot down here. And down here, if it snows a half an inch, they shut the city down, right? So you can imagine what happens if it is a foot. And I put it in one record store. And that Thursday and Friday, it snowed Saturday. I called Tina up and she was like, them records are sold out. And I was like, whoa. And that's kind of how I really knew. And it's ironic because, you know, she was pushing 8 Ball and MJG too. They came out at that time. She was like, man, you got to hear this shit. It's 8 Ball and MJG, man. It's that pimp shit, you know, because she really was into records, right? She on a record store. So she everybody in the community knew her, but she was pushing 8 Ball and MJG. So that was when the slower rap was rearing its head at that time, right? And you just had all these different styles of music floating around in the Southeast, but nobody could do anything because all the record companies were in New York. And, you know, a record going platinum back then meant something. That meant you sold a million physical pieces of something, right? And, you know, we sold 1 million physical pieces of something in a month and a half. It was bananas. And it was contributed to the fact that Ed Lover was a good friend of mine. And he came down, you know, right before I had left Magic City, and he heard Whoop There It Is. He was like, man, give me that. Man, I'm about to go play that on MTV Raps, right? And I was like, well, all I got is cassette. Man, I can't do no damn cassette. Come on, DC. I was like, all right. So after I left, I had met him back down there when I got the vinyl, right? I told Al, I was like, I need vinyl ASAP because everybody need vinyl before we need cassettes or any of that other crap. He said, you want to start getting people to play it. And I met Ed, gave him 4 or 5 copies, took it back to New York. The next day, they played it the whole session of Yo MTV Raps. And that right there, that is one. Then it was around the time that the Bulls had won their 3rd championship. I mean, they had a parade in Grant Park, and I'm sitting on my couch, and I'm just looking at Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and all these people on stage, and 500,000 people in Grant Park chanting, "Whoop, there it is." And after that, it was just over. It just started spreading in DC, because the first line is, tag team back again, check the record, let's begin. Part of people, let me hear some noise. DC's in the house, jump, jump, rejoice, right? So everybody from Washington, DC thought that I was from DC and the song was about DC. So DC blows up, right? Huh. So now we are going to Cali, going to Chicago, we're going to Detroit, we're going to New York. We're doing places that, Southern groups had never been, right? And we just kind of hit the whole country simultaneously, and then everything just blew up instantly. And I mean, we never looked back, and we were just off. And we were, traveling to Europe, traveling to Brazil, traveling here, traveling there. And I mean, we had about a good 3-year run with the song. And then, the record company went bankrupt. And then that just started a whole chain of events that just been kind of brutal over the last 20 years, right? As far as lawsuits and jockeying for position to, who owns the rights to what and this and that. And it just was crazy. And, when you're a young artist, you think, well, I'm just going to sue, I'm going to sue for my rights, right? But you soon realize, and it's to all you artists out there, you realize that you can't withstand what a record company is going to bring at you, right? So they got long money, right? You got whatever you got, and they just going to bleed you to death. So you don't even get to go to court, right? Like, there's so many ways they can legally just bleed you till you don't have any money. That's what happens to everybody. So when you hear these, these record artists who have a big hit record, right? And you don't hear from them no more, that is kind of what happens, because it just can't be withstood, right? So in our situation, and that's a whole get in the game. Can you help me get in the game? And, what I do is I try to, and I can use 99% of people that I run across who want to be in this industry do not call me back, because I guess it's too painful to read something or to learn something that can secure your future forever, right? And the people that do, I give them the next nugget, teach them how to get shows, I just teach them everything I've learned the hard way, right? So, that is my contribution to the game, because ain't nobody giving up the game. I give up the whole game, but I'm not going to give you the whole game at one time. I'm going to see if you're worthy of it, right? Because you got to be worthy to do this. I got to know that I'm not wasting my time. My time is very valuable. I'm an actor. I'm a voice artist. I do SEO, build websites. I'm a graphics artist, fashion photographer, videographer, screenwriter, the whole nine. Anything in entertainment I can do. Publicist, the whole nine. I learned how to do all of that, so I don't have to pay nobody to do it. Now, I'm only one person, but hey, that's how you do it, right? How I found you, being my own publicist, right?
Yeah.
That's how I be. Hey, I get an email. They say these people need somebody to talk to. These people need, if you're interested, this is what this podcast needs, is what these people need. Hey, what's up? I got you. Word? Yep, word. And here we are.
Yeah.
That's publicist shit. You know what I'm saying? I learned it, and I was looking for a publicist, and they were like, well, you're not, the Geico thing is big, but we're trying to, you don't have anything. It's like a movie premiere. I was like, all right, thank you. They're all trying to convince me not to hire a publicist. I was like, all right, let me show y'all what I do. And I went and joined a publicist organization. And everything that is done in business, there's an organization full of the professionals that do it well. So if you want to learn how to be a music publicist, there's an organization for it. If you want to learn how to be a screenwriter, there's an organization for it. If you want to learn advertising, there's 10 organizations for it, right? All you got to do is join one of those organizations, maybe $100 for the year. and then start scouring through their resources, start calling people. And I guarantee you, there's going to be one person in that organization that wants to run their mouth and give you the game. That's how I started getting shows. You know, I was used to think, well, let me just try to find a booking agent. Try to find a booking agent. They're like, well, yeah, you know, they don't know you. They not really trying to mess with you. So I said, I joined an organization called International Entertainment Buyers Association, IEBA, right? What IEBA is the booking agents, bosses, 5 tiers up. Artist is at the bottom of the food chain. Then it's the booking agent. Then it's the manager. Then it's the booking agent. Then it's the buyer. Then it's the venue. You know, then it's the organization, the big organizations, right? So I go to their conference, 5,000 people, all from the industry. And I'm wearing a big ass Whoop There It Is t-shirt. I'm a marketer. And I start introducing myself to people and start networking. I'm like, you know, my name is DC Glenn. Yeah, I got, you know, I made the song Whoop There It Is. You ever heard the song Whoop There It Is? Like, yeah, of course I've heard that song. Yeah, well, I just wanted to introduce myself. We're a clean rap group. Clean, huh? Yeah, clean. The moment I say clean rap group, their ears perk up. Because they don't touch hip hop. These are the rodeos. These are the state fairs. These are the casinos. These are the cruise ships. These are every form of entertainment other than the regular forms of entertainment that a hip hop artist would know. And once I started developing relationships, started getting shows. And before the pandemic, we were averaging 40 shows a year, sporadically, because I knew how to get in an organization, learn the game, and then implement it and put my sauce on it. That's what I do for people. You know, one cat, he was Army veteran, suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder. He, he would write lyrics to kind of cope. And he called me and he was like, man, I just admire you. What can you do? How can I get in the game? I sent him the folder. And it took him about a month. He hit me back. He was like, man, I didn't even know nothing about music publishing, man. So this is how it works. There's 2 parts of publishing. And, you know, there's there's the writer share and there's the publisher share. But then you have the mechanical, which is for the master. He ran that shit off to me so cold. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, all right, time for the next phase. You got to get shows. You got the music. You're making songs. Your songs will evolve as you go. But, you know, you want to get the shows, this is what you got to do. And he started doing it. And before the pandemic, he was doing shows, making music, the whole nine. He was on his way, right? I haven't talked to him in a while, but he listened. And he learned the game the right way, because now the game is totally different than it was back then. Now, you're really getting taken advantage of off the rip. But most people don't see that. Most people want to be a star. They see the star. They want to be popular. They want to be in the game. And they're not understanding that you can have a mediocre record. And if you have your music publishing, later on down the line, that record can become a classic depending on how hard you hustle it. Because a classic can be a song plucked that you submitted for a movie. Now the movie and the movie company done all the work for you promoting the record, right? So now you got a hit record in a movie. They've done all the work for you. You don't have to do anything. Now you can license that song for the rest of your life. But you can't license it if you don't own the publishing. And that is the rub of all of this, of the whole music industry. If you don't believe me, hey, try to tell you. I
believe you.
Hey, I'm telling you, and we were actually lucky because most people don't get nothing, but we retain certain things that we can live comfortable, right? And you know, making such a classic record like Whoop, you know, I'm humble. I always downplay it, and I don't mind working. I do all kind of things, right? Right now, my thing is acting. You know, I'm booking like crazy. I book a lot for voiceover. I do commercial voiceover, video games, animation, promo. I do it all. And I book. I got agents. I'm rolling. But, we go do shows too, right? So you just do a little bit of everything. And I do motivational speaking, I'm being pitched for a cooking show, all kind of shit, right? But then, here come Geico, right? And you said something about Wikipedia earlier, right? And if you leave it to Wikipedia, that's why I learned SEO. This happened to us before, when in 2012, when everybody thought Obama was in the video, and everybody was breaking their neck to try to find us, and they could not find us. Till one person called me at work and was like, "Does he work there? Is he working there?" And that's when the floodgates opened. And it was because I wasn't even thinking about a website, right? And I was like, we missed so much money because we didn't have a website and people couldn't find us. And I vowed that would never happen again. And I spent years learning search engine optimization, how to build websites. And it was painful because that shit is hard, right? But I know how to do that shit so good right now. And as I went along, I would use the clubs to practice, right? So I got good at it. And I retired from DJing in 2015 and put out the site in 2016. In 2016, if you typed in tag team, it'd be all wrestling. Like, what the fuck? You type in tag team right now, it's all tag team. And I thought my job was done, but Cleveland Cavaliers had called us to make a deal. And I was, she was like, I couldn't find you guys. And I was like, you lying. But I'm assuming that everybody knows that tag team is whoop, there it is. But she was typing in whoop, there it is. I was like, oh shit, there's got to be something. Man, it's all kind of just facts and discogs and all kind of crazy, just everything. Just stuff that has been accrued all over the years. Because you got to think about it. 93 and now it's almost 30 years worth of content that some of that content back in the day is irrelevant now, right? But a lot of people use that. So my mission for the last 3 years is making sure that when they type in whoop, there it is, they can find us. So now they can find us if they type in whoop, there it is. The whole game is to leave breadcrumbs. That's why I was excited about Discord, because it's a new platform. Now that's a new platform that people can find me because I've optimized it for people to find me. You can optimize all these social networks to coincide with your website, and you lay breadcrumbs for anybody in the industry that wants your product to find you. That's what search engine optimization is. You wake up in the morning, every morning, get on the internet, and what do? You start searching for shit, right? Or if you need something, you're typing in what you need. And a lot of times, everybody goes through this. A lot of times you can't find what you need because that company didn't do their due diligence on search engine optimization, right? So I made it my mission to correct everything that was on the internet that I didn't like, right? And have it based in factual, evidence of what happened. Because they won't let you do that with Wikipedia anymore. Back in the day, you could just get on Wikipedia and just type in some shit. Now
you could just edit a page,
you can't just edit a page. In 2016, because the Russians were getting busy and the whole nine, they shut it down. So now you really have to know everything about Wikipedia and how to edit, and the community has to trust you, and that took time, right? So I have people that taught me the game on that, and now I've redone both Wikipedia, whoop, there it is, and tag team. Now everybody can find me. Everybody has the proper information. We just dropped 2 days ago, Nikki Looper, right? I don't know how many of those videos I've seen on YouTube because it's just about entertainment and who's doing what and whatnot. And here I look up and I'm on it. And I'm like, whoa. And they just pull information from the internet and create a narrative. And the narrative they created was accurate. And I was so happy because a lot of times when people create your narrative, it's not what you wanted. It's what they found on the internet, right? So you have to know what you got out there on the internet, and to edit Wikipedia pages you can't write a line without there being a reference, right? So what you do is you go through and you scour and you get everything that you can on yourself about Wikipedia, and you use the best lines to create your own narrative through references, so people will know the truth about you. So we got all these articles from the Wall Street Journal, from New York Times and Vibe and all the magazines back in the day, plus all the new stuff from the Obama time. The whole country did that. Now I'm doing. Geico dropped on the 28th of December, and I'm pretty much doing 5-6 interviews a day. I don't have to do that, but I do that because it's the hustle. They're like, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to put out another album? Man, that's the kiss of death. Fuck, I look like putting out another album. Like, no, I'm just going to do, well, there it is. I'm going to do tag team because it'll come back around again, right? And you just got to make sure that people can find you. You got to create the narrative, and you got to put out good content, and you got to entertain people, and our shows are entertaining because we do a lot of them, and people love that song, and that's what I'm riding with. And I will work my ass off till they stop playing this commercial. But I mean, I just got Ad Week. We did an article Ad Week. We just did Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Friday was on the Dan Patrick Show in the morning. It's coming. Good Morning America, the whole nine. It's coming. Super Bowl commercial. It's coming. After Super Bowl commercial, we out of here. Now, I wish I was a young man so I could drop an album in the midst of all of this, but that ship has sailed years ago. So all I can do is take it to another level and find out what in marketing terms or advertising terms, is a value proposition, or why you should fuck with me. And you got to have data to do that, right? And to find that data, I had to do the same shit. I had to go research, had to figure it out. Right now, this Geico commercial is the number one commercial in the country, like a hit record. Shit's crazy, man. But I mean, I'm cool. I'm humble about it. I love to work, and I'm gonna take advantage of everything that comes my way because this is all a blessing. This don't have to happen, but because I bust my ass, I try to keep learning. It has put me in a position to be straight for the rest of my life, and that's all you can ask for. So, because I don't want to be a 50-year-old DJ. Shit, I retired in 2015. There's a shelf life on that, right? And I'm making music again because I've got tutors for everything. That's one thing this pandemic did, is that when it started, everybody panicked. And you had to stop, sit down, and was like, what the fuck am I going to do? Right? And there ain't no more shows, or you done lost your job, or you with the person you can't stand to be with, you stuck with, you got to figure out what the fuck you was going to do. And I went back, I figured it out. I said, I'm going to stick with voiceover because I can sit here on this mic just like I'm doing right now and make money. And I went back to the beginning. I recorded all my classes, all my acting classes, and went back and just went over them, filled in the holes, strengthened my weaknesses. And this year, 2020 was one of the best years of my life. I shot two movies in the middle of a pandemic. I'm the first time in my life, one of the times in my life, that it is truly survival of the fittest, right? We are all in the Serengeti out in this bitch. I mean, really. And if you're sitting here waiting for your old shit to come back, you're gonna be short. This is the time to reinvent yourself, think of something new, something you always wanted to do, learn it. Because it's not hard to learn it. And what else you got to do? So I don't mean to just keep talking, man, but hey, man, you let me talk. I'm gonna talk all night.
So we've been talking for a fucking long time, and I don't know if we can keep this up for a little bit longer because the thing that was just recording your voice, literally just had a seizure, and let's set for a brief second. Let's set for a brief second. So I'm gonna ask only.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna ask only one more fucking question, and this is about you because this episode should be about you the most. So, about your acting career, how did you get into acting and how did you find this hobby? Because we all knew how, like you told us, how you got into DJing and hip hop slash bass, but how did you get into the part that you became an actor? How did that part of life begin?
So when I'm working in the clubs, right, I'm making a lot of money, right? I'm making a lot of money. You know, if you're a DJ, I've just always been a hustler. So this guy wanted to own a pie shop, and he wanted to make, he had a pie recipe from his grandmother, and he wanted to do pies, and he went and worked at a pie shop for a month, learned the ins and outs. And then, he came up with a term called getting in the corridor, right? And now he's got a frozen pie company, a big, making millions of dollars a year. And I was like, well, shit, what can I do? And I said, well, shit, you work at the club, so learn marketing, learn search engine optimization, learn how to take care of sound equipment, learn how to do all the things that keep a club functioning. So when I did that, I ended up having 6 streams of income because I'm the man to do everything and I'm invaluable. You hear what I'm saying? You create value for the people who pay you, or the people who want to invest in you. And that's what I did. That's why I was in the club for so long. And I was like, I ain't gonna be able to do the club forever. So let me get better. Cause I would do the radio spots, do the little hype track, and you know how I did it. But I was like, I want to do television commercials. Let me figure out how to do it. Then I started training, and I would go to New York and go to LA and train with the best coaches because, my girl got a couple girls who were flight attendants, so I could fly anywhere for free. And I was all over the country training with different coaches. And, my hubris was in the way because, I'm DC the brand supreme. I just whoop, there it is, my way through this shit, right? But that was something that you can't do that with. You can't do that with voiceover. It's a totally different ball game. And I got frustrated. And, I started booking, and I worked, for Apple Radio, and I had little odd jobs here and there. And then one of my girls stopped flying, so I couldn't go all over the country anymore. It was around 2015. I started training with this coach in Atlanta. And she was like, DC, People Store need a African-American voiceover talent. I was like, cool. And I went and got on the roster at the People Store agency in Atlanta, Georgia. They're the biggest in the Southeast, and they don't just bring anybody aboard, right? You have to really have your shit together. And, I'm rocking with them with voiceover, auditioning for about 2 or 3 months. And I had a meeting up there one time, and the owner rolls up on me and she was like, I love your face. Put him on camera. And they put me on camera, and I was like, what I got to do? Like, well, you got to take headshots, and you have to take acting classes. And then once I got in the acting class, all that shit I had learned, from 2008 to that point started making sense, right? And I just got addicted. And I was in class in Atlanta like 5 days a week. I go all sides of town. It didn't matter if there was a class, a workshop, everything. I was just everything acting. I was proactive. I was, all my classmates loved me. I would find the scripts. We would just work out. And I had started auditioning before I even auditioned for People Store, for the talent agency. So I'm getting stuff from Tyler Perry. I'm getting stuff from, Netflix. I'm getting stuff, from all the people that are shooting in Atlanta, Georgia. And, it just kept going and going. And that's when I was like, I'm in this all the way. And you just can never stop. Right. And, you get frustrated, but you learn how to deal with it. And right before the pandemic, I booked the National Pizza Hut commercial for March Madness. But we all know how that went down, right? And, once that was over, but I didn't care that I lost that money. I was like, I booked. So I know I have arrived, right? And I was making money, but it was like, I need them licks, right? I need them licks. I'm used to making licks. And I knew I was going to have to crawl before I walked. And it just got better and better and better. And I'm 3 years in now. And I'm a working actor. I'm not trying to be a star, I'm trying to be a working actor, right? Working actors make a lot of money. And then, here comes Geico. And now all these worlds are colliding, right? Because the womb side doesn't know I act and the acting side doesn't know I do womb. And now they know it all. This is the first time in 30 years people have been able to put the face with the song. So now, simultaneously, all the people that I've been auditioning for, all the people that know what I'm trying to do, now know who I am. Now the narrative is a little different. And because I prepared, because I was ready, I can take advantage of all the blessings that are coming my way. And you just keep grinding. And that's my acting story. So now, my agents are like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I don't know. You guys do a good job. I'm auditioning for everything. It's like, well, what's your bucket list? I was like, you know what? I want to be in The Mandalorian. Anything Star Wars. I want to be in Marvel stuff. Right? So every interview I do now, I'm shouting out to Jon Favreau. Like, yo, fuck with me. You'll be glad you did. You put me somewhere in the Star Wars universe. I don't give a damn. Just fuck with me. I'm dropping names now. Like, yo, y'all need to fuck with me. I promise you. Because my value proposition is high right now. So you better be bold and you better let people, because I'm trained and I have a crew of people that support me that can get me through any movie, any television show, whatever, what have you. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I've got like 6 tutors. I'm learning music theory. I'm learning how to make beats again. I'm learning how to music produce again, because if I'm an actor, I can submit songs for movies. If I'm doing commercials, I can submit jingles for TV ads and to ad agencies. If I'm producing music, I can make theme songs for television shows because I auditioned for all these things a year before it comes out. So I know what it's about. I have a heads up. See, that's people are not thinking outside the box. They're thinking, man, I gotta be a star. I want all the bitches. I want this, I want that. And it's like, it's right there. You just gotta think differently and you gotta do without a little bit. And you gotta educate yourself. But ain't nobody trying to do that shit. And I understand. And I don't hate on young people for being young. I appreciate it because I know I have one thing they do not have: experience. And I know what they know, but I don't have to do what they do. But I know what they know, and I can take what they know, put it with what I know, and make something totally new. That's what experience does for you. So I feel like I've lived a wonderful life, and I'm a baby again. I'm a teenager again. I'm starting a whole new career and a whole new thing. And I know that I've already reached the pinnacle again because it don't get no bigger in television commercials than Geico. It's almost like I'm not going to be able to do shit else because I did Geico. Or everybody's going to be looking at it crazy because I did Geico already, right? I mean, that commercial is going to last a while.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to last a while. And I'm just trying to be prepared and take advantage of everything that comes my way. And that's what you have to do. Now, don't get it twisted. This shit is hard. This shit is hard. It ain't easy by any stretch of the imagination, but, and every day I get up and there's a whole bunch of shit I do not want to do, but I do it anyway.
Yeah.
anyway.
You
And
just
that's
pull
what
through
separates.
everything.
Yeah, that separates good from great.
From the breadcrumb thing to all of this, basically what I can pick away from you, you try to lay like a path for people to take to find you and to reach out to you, but at the same time, you don't want anybody to reach out to you. You're basically, if they're worthy enough to talk to you, or if they want it enough, they can get it. It's just going to be a little bit more complicated to do it. Basically, that's
Oh, it's
what
an
you're trying
obstacle
to do.
course. It's definitely an
Yeah,
obstacle course, but
yeah.
that is to protect. That's not for me. That's for you. Think about it, man. If I tell you everything, and that's why I try to tell everybody, if you're in class, record that shit. Record everything you do, because you can only remember so much shit. If you're in an hour course, you're only going to remember 5 minutes of that shit, and then you just don't forgot it, and you don't paid your money and took that course for nothing. I don't give a damn how good a notes you take, right? And then there you have to learn how to learn. Like, I can't stand reading, right? So what I do, I found AI software. It's a reader that reads text, and found good voices. Whenever I get something I want to read, I throw it in the AI, and I can retouch pictures and be listening to what they're telling me at the same time, because that's how I learn. Or if I need to, I was in the class and I'm distracted or I'm daydreaming and shit, I know it is recorded. I could throw it in the AI. It's called Otter AI. Throw it in Otter AI, 30 seconds. It transcribes the whole shit for you. Now I got it in a PDF file. And then I can, and it will read it to me while it's in a PDF file. And then I
God,
learn it
man.
again. You see what I'm saying? You
That's
got to
so
learn
cool.
how to learn. You got to learn how to learn, right?
You have so
When I
many
get a
life
script,
experiences. You have so
first thing
many
I do
life
when I get a script.
experiences.
Oh, yeah. First thing I do when I get a script, I get on this mic and I say every word on the script, not just my parts or the other part. I do the whole script as a voiceover. Then dump it in my
Yeah.
phone, go work out, and listen to it while I'm working out, so I can understand. It's not about memorizing lines. It's about understanding what the fuck I'm doing and what I'm saying. What's that scene about? What in your life can you relate to that scene? That's why acting has given me the ability to take every human nature, every negative one, anger, sadness, envy, jealousy, the whole nine, right? And not let it affect me, because I can hold it in, and through acting, I can use that shit, right? You know how, like, let your haters be your motivators? That's a simplistic form of it, but how do you do that? I just let people be people. I try to help people. I give what I want first, and I use that shit. My father passed away a year ago, and it was a own house. I couldn't ask for nothing more. If I wanted anything, if I asked for anything more, I couldn't ask for a better send off. But my parents prepared me for death, right? So death is just a part of life. But
Yeah.
I still sad. I still miss my daddy, right? But I don't dwell on that sadness.
Definitely
I
agree with you on this.
use it, right? If there's a script that I need some emotion, I use it. If somebody pissed me off and they did me dirty, I can use it. If there's a girl who did me wrong and I really wanted to be with her, I can use it as my motivation to give a great performance, because in the end, everybody got to look at you and know they did you dirty. And that's the satisfaction, if there is any satisfaction. Because I don't trip with people. I don't burn bridges, right? You can do me dirty. I'm not gonna burn the bridge. I ain't gonna fuck with you, but I'm not gonna burn that bridge, because just don't burn bridges with people. You never know. Just never know. So you just have to take all those emotions and you have to use them, And to me, I will keep learning, because there's too much to learn. Think about it. It's the internet age. There's too much shit to learn, right? But you can learn it. You just have to figure out how to learn it. It can't be, well, I'm going to go sit in class and learn it. Nah. Like, even with acting, the pandemic changed everything. But I don't have to go all the way across town to go to class now. I can get on a site called We Audition, call 5 of my friends, and be like, yo, I need to work this scene out. Let's do it. Bam, we working the scene out. I know the scene in 20 minutes. Ready to audition for
That's
it.
dope.
It's done.
That's dope.
Right? Because
I
if your Zoom game ain't popping, you ain't about to make no money. Period.
yeah.
Or your Discord or Clubhouse or any. Think about all the things that are popping up right now that everybody uses, and I say 3/4 of the people don't even know how to use it. I didn't know how to use Discord till today. It's the same thing, but it's a different community, right? All these communities are popping up, and it's spectacular. And if you don't know it, you're gonna be lost. Period. Because this is how you meet people that can help you. Meet people that you can vibe with together, and y'all can have you meet like-minded people so y'all can have the same narrative. There's a bunch of lazy motherfuckers on here. I'm not fucking with it, right? Like you trying to find people who are like-minded, right? And that's how I do it. And a lot of people aren't willing to give up the game. They're like, man, why you? I know a lot of people like, man, I don't know why you telling all them people that shit, man. I wouldn't tell nobody nothing. Like, yeah, but that's why I'm blessed. I give it away and don't worry about it. And I look behind me in my wake, I'm like, oh, shit came back to me. Okay. If you throw it in the universe with good intentions, it comes back to you. There it is, done come back to me 30 years later. Really ain't never went nowhere, but it came back in a vengeance 30 years later, hit record status because we got the #1 commercial on television. I got the numbers today. That shit don't happen.
Yeah. That's out of
you know what I'm saying?
That's out of the fact. That's out of the fact that you prepared for it. That's out of the fact you prepared for it. You had to hustle for that. Like that doesn't happen out of the blue, and I love that. This interview is probably our best. Like from like strictly informations about how to get better and how to like go on without listening to haters or without giving up for different reasons, all the way to the rise of actually a legend. Because whatever you might say, however humble you might be, you're a legend. Like you went 4 times platinum and 1 gold with that album, and you got a Geico commercial, and it still bangs today. That song is incredible today as well. So you're a legend, and this interview has been amazing.
I appreciate it, man. I mean, I'm just trying to. This is my mission in life, is to teach. Not even to teach, man. Just to put people on game on the shit that I wish somebody had taught me when I was a young man. And my parents taught me well. I've never not known love. It was beautiful, right? But my parents don't know about no fucking music industry and shit like that. You know what I mean? They know what they know. And, that right there is my goal, is to just touch the world and just really just let people know that, hey, you don't got to get taken advantage of, but you got to listen. But see, that's part of being young, right? You think you know every goddamn thing. So shit, all I can do is just tell you. But because I know I think about it. Would you have really listened? I'm like, probably not, but I would have. I would have done it differently, right? But when you're a kid, you've never experienced a whole bunch of women. You want to be a rock star. You see rock stars, you see gangsters, you see everybody living a good life. That's what you want. So nothing else sounds good. Nothing else makes sense but that, right? So there's a way that you have to tell people that, and I can tell that I have, got you guys to listen to some shit that you had no idea was coming at you an hour ago. Right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
You got everybody that's gonna watch this, and for a fact, and we know for a fact that a lot of people are gonna watch this, and a lot of people are gonna get inspired by this, because not only they're gonna see that you're resonating with your fans and resonating with outsiders that wouldn't normally know too much about you, but also you're actually giving life advice implemented in that. So they have no way but to listen. You're actually really smart. And I'm very sorry that this interview is coming to an end, because we've been recording for like an hour and a half. And as I told you earlier, the thing that records this conversation might like just crash and like have a seizure and die. So we kind of we
And I
kind
mean,
of
I'll
have to
come back.
Hold on, he gotta
I'll
do
come
one
back.
thing. He gotta do one thing. Okay, just
We're
one more
gonna
thing.
we're
No, he has to do one thing.
yeah,
He got before.
we're
What I gotta do
gonna
for? Oh,
what?
He has got to wrap it up. I want to hear him.
Musically. I'll let you do this. I'll let you do this.
The fun part
what
of
you
the
want
show.
me
You
to do
ready?
musically? Huh?
Like, could you do like a bit of a verse from like either?
Not to know music though. I'll do it acapella. You want me to do
Yeah,
it acapella?
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What part you want?
Whatever. Just pick one. You're the legend here. You get to pick whatever you
No,
want to do.
no.
This is your interview. This
Yeah.
is your interview. Pick
No.
your favorite part.
I'll just
So
pick
if I were to do
whatever.
it, I gotta pull the mic back because I gotta start with a party people. Tag team back again. Check it, direct it, and let's begin. Party on, party people. Let me hear some noise. DC's in the house. Jump, rejoice. There's a party over here, a party over there. Wave your hands in the air, shake the dairy air. These 3 words mean you're getting busy. It's actually 4. I was drunk as fuck on Old English. That's why I put 3. Boom. There it is. Hit me.
I love that. The best part about Whoop There It Is. The best part is how you write the beat and how the beat works in your favor. Like, it's such a unique song from a production standpoint and also from a way of flow. Like,
Yeah,
I think
it's
that
all
was
about
a
flows.
breakthrough. I think that was
That's
a breakthrough in the 90s.
Man, it's all about flow. Like right now, I am a better rapper than I've ever been in my life because I've studied lyricism, right? I'm like, what can I do to be a better lyricist? And I'm gonna give you this game. It's like the first thing I did, like we only have one song. So when we do shows, people are like, can you do an hour? I'm like, yeah. They be like, I ain't do an hour, I only got one song because I'm a fucking entertainer. Right. So I went and I took comedy classes. Learn how to write comedy, right? Premise, punchline, the whole 9. I took 2 comedy classes. I was the headliner in both classes of 20 people because I'm going to go for it, right? And I started applying that shit to lyrics. And I'm like, whoa, I actually can stay on message on a song and actually have funny parts in it because it's a comedy routine. And that's what I do in shows. I segue. I'm telling comedy, but I'm not telling jokes. I'm just entertaining. And those segues lead into songs that people don't know. You keep them short because they got good beats. Everybody's happy. And now you're entertaining. I DJ a little bit, whatever I know how to do. Right. And I even went so far as to go back to the beginning of Black music and listen to some of the jazz legends and listen to how people scat. You hear Ella Fitzgerald scat, you slow it down halfway. That's a rhyme style. You listen to any of them old schoolers scat. Right? You slow that down to molasses, that is a rhyme style that you can incorporate and you can piece it together, you can cut it up and you write your lyrics to that. And you just, you don't have to write. You can just sit there and listen to a beat. And this is what I do. I sit there and I play the beat and I just freestyle and fuck around. Because I always do it anyway. And I never write it down. I'd be like, shit, I remember it, but you don't remember it. And it might be one of the coldest lyrics you ever wrote. But now I can sit here on the mic and play a beat and just be rapping. It ain't gonna make no sense. But I might come up with a line that's dope as fuck. And now I throw it in the AI. The AI transcribes it. Now I have it on paper. You do that every day.
Damn.
You come up with 1 million songs. You come up with 1 million.
That's
You come up with 1 million verses. You come up with 1 million hooks because you know when some shit is fly. But if you're sitting there trying to beat your brain how to write some shit, it's gonna be some shit that was written under stress, and it's not gonna be your best effort.
I never thought about that. I never thought about it that way.
Think about when you're working and you're humming, right? That's some of the coldest shit you've ever sang in your life, but you don't even realize it because it's nothing to you. It's flawless. But you could take that and put that shit on a beat that you're listening to, and you good, right? And because if your vocabulary is solid, you're going to come up with shit that you would have never came up with writing because you're just sitting back listening to the beat. It might take 10 minutes before the first words come. I do it when I work out. Throw a fast beat. And then what I did, this is what I do too. I'll go back and I find, this is what I did, man. I don't like nothing but up-tempo music. So I went back and I went and got all the old school records. Planet Rock, Al Nafish, Orbit, Kano, Kraftwerk. I went and got all that shit. Stuff I had never even heard before. Put it in a folder.
Yeah.
And then I went and I made a loop from the essence of the beat. So Planet Rock, what is the essence of Planet Rock, right? Really, the essence of Planet Rock is the beat. That beat is the essence of the song. Essence of the song is the purity, right? That's the part that no matter what, you're going to love every time you hear it. And it might be 30 years old, right? Boom, there it is, that no matter what, right? Boom, 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 boom. You don't even know it, but it's there. You make a loop of that and you just rap. Because you've got the essence of the song. Now the song is filled. Now the essence of the song is flowing through you. It's almost like how Jedi uses the Force, man. Flows through you, out you, right into the microphone, into the AI software. Now you got lyrics. Trying to tell you.
To be honest, I never thought about it this way. Like using an AI while freestyling to transcribe your speech. And that's insane because I am somewhat of a battle rapper. Like I cannot really say I'm a battle rapper. I battle on Discord. So yeah. But when I do write like a verse or something, I usually freestyle a lot and like pick out the bars that stand out. But with the AI, I don't need to pick it out in the heat of the moment. And
in the heat of the moment, you could do it and just leave it and come back to it.
Yeah.
And then you'll look at it and be like, oh shit, that shit was popping. Or it might not, you might have been tripping that day and be like, that shit ain't. Let me add this word. Let me restructure it this way. And then you start freestyling again, then you hash it out. That's what we do with jokes, right? It takes comedians 10 times to work a joke. They work a joke out through audiences. Then once they get it down, you put an hour together of good jokes. That's what Dave Chappelle does. That's what all the greats do, right? They have to, and everybody has their own different way of doing it. Some write, some have notebooks, some can just do it off the top of their head. Some can, everybody has their way. But if you can, then I decided, I was like, I'm not gonna write about nothing but shit that through the history of time always appeals to everybody. First one is money. Second one is love. And then shit. What is there after that? Money and love. Ain't too much after that. You know what I'm saying? You write songs about or think about it. Think about it. Christmas. You write a Christmas song, you take a year to write a Christmas song, right? And then you just start shooting it out there. You license it, movie picks it up. Now that movie gets played every year, and if it's a hit, you got a song that's played every year for the rest of your life, and you get money off of it.
That's
when really everybody else is trying to make some gangster shit. Everybody else trying to make some shit that, everybody, their girlfriend like.
I guess it depends on the subgenre that you're trying to hit. Like,
but at the same time, every subgenre, there are 20 Christmas movies every year. There's something that your song can fit in.
Definitely,
right?
Yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm saying? It's that's outside the box, man. Or think, now, we did this back in the day. We, song Broncos. I'm from Denver, so the Broncos about to go to the Super Bowl. We make a Super Bowl song. Or, you could try to do it like that, but it usually does not work because they don't make it past the championship, and you got to have it done before then. If they do, you're right on schedule. If they don't, you made a song for nothing. And if you try to wait, it's too late because everybody else done made a song and you didn't, right? So, like, I've been through all this, right? And for me, writing about, partying, that's the other one. Money, love, and partying. Everybody parties. People will party to the end of time. Period. People will always celebrate. There will always be weddings. There will always be bar mitzvahs. There will always be celebrations where people come together and feel good around each other. Period. That will never get old. Ever. So all you got to do is make party records, really. Party records, throwing a love song here and there, and then throwing a song about money that's got, now the money song got to be, it has to be, it's more about the hook being catchy with the beat, riding on the beat, than it is about the song. But it can be about the song, but if you got a good hook, it's about money. Think about how many shows there are that have about money. You got Bloomberg and you got CNBC who got shows on all day. And if you got a song about money, you can submit your song and you might be the theme song to a fucking CNBC show of a guru who's just blowing smoke up people's ass because everybody wants to be rich. And that's how the dude get rich, because he gives people, feeds people dreams. In the same time, teaching them some shit, right? So there's a million ways. And so you guys know that from my conversation today to y'all, that I am nowhere fucking near done. This is the beginning.
And as it should be. As it fucking should.
You know what I'm saying? It's the beginning.
It actually
there's always new ways to skin shit. There's always new ways to do shit. There's always new ways to cook chicken. There's always new ways to... I lost 100 pounds on keto. And everybody's like, how the hell did you do that? And, you can starve yourself and deprive yourself and shit like that. But keto, once I learned what it was, about re-engineering food, right? So I lost 100 pounds and I still ate fried chicken.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Because my fried chicken recipe is cooked in olive oil, and I use a tablespoon of cornstarch for the batter. And those real good Chinese chicken wings that just be super crispy. That's what cornstarch does for chicken. And it's only 4 grams of carbs in that fried chicken. And, you can eat as much as you want. It's about re-engineering food to taste how you want it to taste. And all you got to do is just switch up the ingredients, right? You use olive oil because olive oil is organic, and you use virgin olive oil is good for you, just like fish oil is good for you. You use cornstarch, but you can use a tablespoon. My diet was 20. It was a hardcore diet, so only 20 carbs a day. There's no sugar, but there's no rice, no pasta, none of that. But you can use, people are like, well, use cauliflower crust for pizza. Fuck that. Use no fucking cauliflower crust, no pizza. Fuck I look like. So what I do, it's about the ingredients. So I use low carb tortillas, right? Use a low carb tortilla, put the sauce on it. Then it's the ingredients. Where's the best mozzarella cheese? Where's the best Italian sausage? Where's the best pepperoni? Put that shit on a cookie sheet with parchment paper. Now you got a Pizza Hut thin crust pizza. You eat them all day. There's only 4 grams of carbs in it. You see what I'm saying? Like, once you stop eating sugar, your metabolism changes. Then your body's not craving sugar. Your body's craving fat, and the fat is the food source. Fat is the gas now, right? And that's why people lose weight so fast on keto, and it's But as everything, all this shit is hard. Shit, the pandemic hit, I gained 50 pounds back. Like, fuck. Right? Because what else I got to do? You know what I'm saying? Well, fucking lay around and eat, right? Yeah. So, but now I'm back on it and I'm coming back down, and you get it's a lifelong struggle. But the most important thing was to be healthy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm 50 something, and motherfuckers is falling off like flies when they get in their 50s because motherfuckers having heart attacks and dialysis and shit like that, and I lost a lot of people. So it's like you can't take your health lightly. And
good for you. Good for you for doing all of this.
Yeah. So it's whatever challenges come my way, I just pin my ears back and I just think about it. And if I can't really figure it out, I go to an organization and I ask people who've been doing it their whole life.
And that's a life story.
Who've been in the game for 30 years.
And that's a life story for everybody out there. Like, if you don't know something, don't dodge it. Don't be afraid of it. Ask somebody that knows better.
Somebody. They're both better, and you just find an organization.
This is the whole purpose of this podcast right here, because we don't really know enough about rap to actually lecture people. We have people like you that actually know what they're doing, people that know what they've done, singers. Actually, recently we had a couple of singers that know what's best in their genre and what they have to do to hustle. And this is about what the podcast is. Like, it's supposed to help people by providing information straight from the people that are in the industry.
Yeah. Hey, man. And it's out
And it
there.
almost,
Information is out there. You can ask me anything, and I can in 10 minutes, I'll have it for you because I know SEO. And if it's out there, I'll find it. You know what I mean? I'm a great miner. You know what I mean? I know how to find shit, right? And that's why I fear learning nothing. I mean, I became basically a paralegal because I was forced to, right? And now you can't do every fucking thing, right? But you kind of put it into a ball. Like search engine optimization goes with Photoshop and After Effects, and but all that goes with marketing and social media and creating your own content, right? And then all that goes with acting because you got to build a rig so you can audition from home, and you got to have microphones, and you got to understand sound, and you can't be distorted when you come through on the mic, and you got to know that the people on the other side aren't distorted so you can have a decent podcast. All these things fit together, right? And you develop all those things over time, they become one, and it takes years to put them together, but you don't give up and you do it. Like my weaknesses, my goal is to strengthen my weaknesses. And one of my biggest weaknesses, I used to make the baddest beats back in the game back in the day, but I stopped because we're using MPC 60s, 808, shit like that. But now they ain't like that. Technology got to meet the creativity. So now I use a site called Wyzant, WYZANT. Anything you want to learn, all these teachers who got fired, not got fired, but who got laid off or said, man, I don't want to be around them nasty ass kids and catch COVID. They're online now teaching on Wyzant. So you might have a college professor who's taught music theory for 40 years, teaching you music theory the quickest way you can learn.
Definitely.
I've got 3 people teaching me Machine. I've got 3 people teaching me Studio One. Teach me how these drum machines work. Teach me how all these DAWs work. I want to use all the DAWs so I have no limits, right? I've got all the sounds. See, back in the day, it was about, man, we need the sounds. You got to find the sound. You don't got to do that no more. You buy Native Instruments complete. You got every sound imaginable, right?
Yeah.
Then it's just about, it's about just putting everything together. But how you going to put everything together? You got to do it in a DAW, but then you got to know some music theory. You got to know what that DAW does. You got to know the shortcuts. There's a learning curve to all of it. And if you don't do it, you forget it. So you have to write it down. You have to make cheat sheets. You have to make lists, right? So when you go back to that, you got to get a mouse that you can program. So when you go back to that and you turn on that program, your mouse is set in its muscle memory, right? So now I'm using Studio One for voiceover. I'm making movie trailers. I'm making demo tapes. You know what I'm saying? Demo tapes. But then I'm about to start making songs because I've got Studio One Atom, or I've got Machine, Studio and Machine 3. And anything else I fucking want because I got somebody who can teach that shit to me real time here on Zoom. Right here on the internet. They can get on my computer.
That's incredible.
Screens.
That's incredible. We can share
screens. It's like they right next to me.
Yeah, I know. They can write on the screen and you can see what they write. But I think
they can see what I'm doing, how I'm fucking up.
Yeah, but I think on this note with the teachers, we should probably end the interview. I really loved my time, but it's getting a little long. And again, I'm afraid about the bot having a fucking seizure. And so we're probably going to have to end it. But you're a fucking legend for actually showing up. You're a fucking legend for booking us. And especially for reaching out to us. We would have never thought in life to have ever reached out to you just because of how big you are. We would never thought we could get such a big opportunity. And it was a really nice time having you, dude.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. And, if everybody can find me, if they usually ask you, where can they find you? Type in DC Glenn of Late Breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
You can find me.
Shout out.
That's the key.
Shout out to DC Glenn. Shout out to Glenn.
That's
Check
the
him
key.
out on
That's the key.
Instagram. Check out the tag team on fucking YouTube. Check their fucking albums
And
out
everywhere.
and their songs
man.
everywhere. Like,
And
type
then,
it out on Google and just do it.
If y'all need me, I'll come back and keep spitting game because, we can do this. It's all good.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right? Hey, man, y'all
definitely
good
have to.
people. I had a good time. Thank you for
We
blessing
had a
me.
good time as well.
Because sometimes you learn more by talking to people, and I've learned a lot today.
Yeah, that's very true.
And just you guys have a great evening, and I will see y'all. All right, take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.
This was Wrap It Out, and until next time, this was DC Glenn, hosted by Ecstasy and Musically. Goodbye, guys.
Bye, y'all. Love you.